This is Voice of Restoration TV, television inspired to change the nation and the world. Keep watching.
Voice of Restoration TV. My name is Farai Guata, your reporter. You're watching us live from Brantford, Ontario in Canada. Our feature story today chronicles the journey of the man of God, Prophet Thomas Tirivangani, who is the founder and general overseer of Christ Voice of Restoration Ministries. Prophet Thomas Tirivangani was born and raised as a staunch Catholic in the nation of Zimbabwe. He excelled in school and became an attorney, a permanent attorney for that matter, in the nation of Zimbabwe. As he advanced in his career, he moved to the United Kingdom, where he became both a lawyer and a prominent businessman. Life had him move again back to Africa, to the nation of Botswana, until he heard God's call to come to Canada. In Canada, he came by way of Fort Erie, until God again moved him to Hamilton, Ontario. Now we will be joining our live reporter Kina on the streets of Hamilton as she takes you on the journey of the man of God's life in Hamilton. Thank you for watching. Kina?
Here we are at 15 Albright Road, and this is the first building, so come on in as we take this journey.
This was where Christ Voice of Restoration Ministry first started. This is the first home for Christ Voice of Restoration Ministry. It was in a 2-bedroom apartment on the 3rd floor where the Prophet of God, his wife, and his 2 children started the church.
This is where the second location for Christ Voice of Restoration Ministry, 34 Ottawa Street North, and from there the church relocated from its first resident to this very place.
We are now at 749 Barton Street East. As you can see today, it's a liquidation store, and a lot has changed since Christ Voice Restoration Ministry has been here. This, in fact, is the 3rd home for Christ Voice Restoration Ministry. It was here where the church grew and expanded. It introduced the food bank, the clothing bank, and other ministries as well. But it was also here where the church faced a lot of opposition. It was reported to us by one of the members that when the church first started the clothing bank and the food bank, it was very difficult for them to minister food and clothing to the community because of the lack of trust between the community and the church. As they moved into a new territory, things were not always easy. It was told to us that the people would not receive their food. And it was also told that the neighbors would call in police officers to come and attend and listen to the services. As a result, the Prophet of God had to defend the position of the church in court. And not to mention the financial hardship that the church faced. It was also reported that on one fateful Sunday, the doors of the church was locked because the church could not afford to pay their rent.
This now boarded up building was one of the proud homes for Christ Voice Restoration Ministry. This is 423 Barton Street East. The church relocated from 749 Barton Street East to this very location.
Many years of renting, Christ Voice of Restoration Ministry acquired its own property in 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing at 200 Sanford Avenue North. This is a building owned by Christ Voice of Restoration Ministry. And indeed, when the Bible says God takes you from glory to glory, this is the testimony of Christ Voice of Restoration Ministry.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here.
As the church continues to give glory to God for its growth and its expansion and all the things that the church has acquired since the Lord has blessed this church, the man of God, Prophet Thomas, always told the believers that every cathedral starts with a lake of just one brick, and our God is faithful. But the church never expects what happened on January 21st, 2014. And this indeed was the darkest hour for Christ Voice Restoration Ministry.
On the 21st of January 2014, we had an unfortunate incident where our church, 200 Stanford Avenue, part of the building was destroyed and damaged by fire. A fire that ripped through my office and destroyed many of our inventory and a lot of the stuff that was in the church. And it has been a telling experience, and many people never thought that we would survive the fire. But the Bible says with God all things are possible. What seems impossible with man is possible with God.
Now this is a church that has been here for about a year. The building has been here since the 1870s as a Korean Presbyterian church. That's what it was before. It's now Christ Voice of Restoration Ministries. Prophet Tom Tirivangani is the pastor and joins me now live. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. You were inside the church with about 6 people praying when you smelled smoke, you said.
Oh yes. We were inside the church. Normally the church is open 7 days a week from 10 o'clock to 5 p.m. So we were there during our normal office hours when we had the smell that there was a fire in the building.
So what have you been told about where this fire is or where it might have started?
Well, the fire could have been coming from the boiler room section where we have our heating system. That's where probably the fire could have been coming from. And that side, again, we store clothes, donations on that side as well.
So that's exactly where you store all the food and clothing that you give out to people in the community, right?
Yes, that's where we store the food and the clothing that we give out to the community, yes.
And so you have a food bank and a clothing bank, and what other sorts of things do you do at the church?
Yeah, we have a food bank, a clothing bank, and sometimes during the winter we also have a soup kitchen where we give out free soup to the members of the public here who are homeless.
You must be worried about the state of the inside of the church.
Yes, sure, it's concerning now because we don't know for now how much damage has been done to the building, how much donations we have lost, and what we are going to do afterwards. We don't know, and this is a very worrying and concerning situation. Yes.
Viewers, as you watch the screen, that is the servant of God, Prophet Tom's office. And that is in fact where the fire started. You can see how great of a damage and how much was destroyed during the fire. As you can see the surrounding offices and even the boiler room and the food bank location were destroyed in the fire, among other places as well.
trials that the church went through, the man of God, Prophet Tom, and the church never looked back. He's always been known as one who's strong on, head on, against opposition.
Today is the 21st of May 2014. We are outside here, the church building at 200 Stanford Avenue. You know all that the church experienced a fire on the 21st of January 2014 this year. And out of the things that were destroyed by the fire were our food inventory. And we have been struggling and having a difficulty in trying to see what we can do with the food bank. But starting about 3 weeks ago, we started to give out food outside the church building. And we have been going around to source for food donations. As you can see, this is the kind of inventory we have received for the food, for our food bank. And we hope and trust that as we work together in the community, we can build again our social services back again into the community.
I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. Hey, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you.
Viewers, as you watch the screen, you can see the servant of God. This is how the church reacted to the fire outbreak. The man of God has always told the believers that giving does not have anything to do with your situation. When we are faced with trials and opposition, we give the more, we do the more. We react even the more out of our circumstances. And this is the evidence of the love of God at work. As you can see the man of God cleaning up after the fire. You can see them giving the annual free Christmas dinner out of their financial strain. The church continued to give.
I worship you. Hey, we make a miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. That is who you are. Hey, we make a miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You wipe away all tears, you mend the broken heart. You're the answer to it all, Jesus. You wipe away all tears, you mend the broken heart. You're the answer to it all, to it all, Jesus. Yeah. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are.
For every journey that a man takes in life, it starts with one step of faith. For every cathedral that we see, it started with one brick. Everything that God starts does not start like mushrooms. What do I mean? It does not just grow overnight. God has to test, and try and set apart the men and the women of God that He is calling. For me, this has not even been the beginning. God has spoken to me that many people are going to come from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south. They are going to come from near and from afar to come and see the light of God. And each time I keep on telling the people, hold on. There is something that's coming. There is a kind of glory that God is going to reveal. There are going to be kind of miracles that God is going to demonstrate in this church for His own glory. And we thank God that our God, the one whom we serve, is faithful. So you may be there, you are wondering, what is happening? God at work. We go through the valley. We go through the trials. We go through the prison doors. We are rejected, yet true. We are humiliated, yet caring and loving. So God bless you for just taking your time to listen. May I encourage you, stay true to the vision which God has given you. Thank you.
Inspired to change the nation and the world. Keep watching.